We're back on this one, y'all. I told you after we did the heater that we were going to try to get this thing running, so let's try it today. Here's what we've got. We've got an 8BA out of a F1 pickup. I bought it from a friend that ended up getting it from another friend. It came out of a restored pickup that had gotten a Coyote swap. So we snagged the motor and didn't do anything to it. The only thing I did add was a 12-volt converted generator. So everything's pretty much exactly the way I got it. We've got all the wiring done in here. You've seen the wiring up in there. So we've got all that ready to go. Key switch works. We've got the battery down here. We'll get that sucker put on there. Get that tightened up a little bit. There we go. We know it spins over. We did try that, so I went through and made sure everything was kind of wired up correctly. Double checked my stuff. So I've not heard this motor run. We're going to fire it up today. So I think what we're going to start with is we'll pull that breather off and we'll get some gas and get ready to pour down the jug. So we backtracked a little bit. We've got the gas tank in here. I went to pour some gas in it to get ready for this, and the thing leaked like a sieve. So I had to get on. I've already cleaned that gas tank out. I put muriatic acid in it, cleaned it all out. It was good to go. Whatever I did, I'm not sure if I left it in there a little too long maybe, or didn't get it completely cleaned out and it leaks all over the bottom of it. So, and it may have been like that when I got it. I don't know. I just jumped online and bought a new gas tank, so it's on its way. I haven't gotten it yet, so we're going to try to probably run this thing off of the gas can that I've got. I'll have to add some more fuel line on it and run it right down into the gas can, see if we can get this thing fired up. Like I said, it's all original. There's nothing been changed on it, even all the way down to the coil and distributor. I haven't changed any of that stuff. So I really don't know much about it. I don't know. All I know is the motor turned over and it was out of a restored pickup. So apparently it ran, because you can see there's gas stained on the intake. I think it'll be fine. But I did get some extras. I got an extra cap, a rotor, points, and condenser for my Rileys, just in case. And I have another good coil, a Lucas coil, that I've tested before and I know it works. This is another little item that I picked up. I got this from Harbor Freight, so I can check and see if that thing's getting fire. So let's go ahead and let's see what we've got. Let's pull that breather, and then we'll unhook a spark plug and try to get this thing hooked up on there and see if we can even, we'll crank it over and see if it'll try to light. We're gonna hook that thing up first. Should be able to tell us pretty quickly if we have fire. And that's just, let me show you guys. That's just like a spark plug end right there. And then it's got the regular spark plug boot end. So you just drop that on the plug and drop the plug wire right on that. Should tell us if we got fire or not. But we'll know pretty quickly anyway if we crank the engine over. That's going to light up. So that little thing's going to light up in there if we've got good spark. Everything's hooked up. Let's pull that filter off. Hopefully this thing will run today. Oh, that's awesome. Somebody cranked down the old filter. Nice. All right, we'll throw that on the bench. We'll have to get another one for that. Okay, we'll squirt a little gas in there. Battery's already hooked up. Flip the key switch on. Let's see what we got. Nope, no fire at all. So, all right, let's move over there. Let's mess with that distributor and see what we got. Should be pretty self-explanatory when we get that thing off there. Pull that off. Rotor looks all right. Points and condenser there. Don't see anything missing. The cap really doesn't look too bad at all. Just looks like it's older. It's not brand new flashy brass. Coil looks all right. A little loose there. Get those tightened up. We'll get those tightened up. Those should be making good contact anyway, even without being really, really tight. And that coil's a little bit loose inside that holder. I might have to, it's got that stainless deal on there, but it's just extra loose. That looks alright. Okay. Get that shoved back down in there. Put it down there a little lower. I need to tighten up that bracket too. Okay. Tell you what, we'll swap this plug deal, whatever you call that, fire checker. Swap it over here so we can see it better. Okay, we're in there good. We'll try it again. Key switch on. Hit the starter button. I didn't see any fire from that. So before we do anything, I know this was a running motor. Let's just check this coil, I think. Let's check it real quick. I've got the other one over there. So before I go swapping out all the internals on the, I want to check kind of the easiest stuff here. Since it's been setting, this motor's been setting for quite a while. I've had it for probably 3 years. So that's not, wouldn't think that that'd be long enough for it to get corroded or anything inside there, but I guess it could. Hopefully it's not too far off from running, because I sure would like to hear it today. There we go. It's just got a stainless cover on it. Ah, that might be the problem. 6 volt. We've converted it to 12, so I wonder what difference that would make. I really don't know. But I think that other coil I have is 12 volts, so set that right there. Let's go grab another one. All right. See if that'll fit in there. No. It won't fit in there at all. So let's take that off. We'll get that thing opened up. That old screw is so rusted, I'm just going to go ahead and cut it off, and I've got a new one right here. I'm going to put right back on there. So just get that thing cut. That'd be easiest than trying to fiddle fart with it. There we go. And my screw's not long enough, so that's awesome. Only one I got's 14 foot long, so we'll cut that sucker to fit. There we go. Perfect. Good socket for this little socket here for the mount onto the head, and we'll be good to go. Let's go. So let's see if it'll go. Hopefully it'll fire up. We'll check that right there. You guys keep an eye on that for me because I can't really see it from over there. So I guess we'll know pretty quick whether it'll fire up or not. I'll drop a little go-go juice in there just in case. Okay. All right, fire in the hole. Nothing. Could you guys see if that was firing off? I couldn't see it from over there. See if I can see it a little bit better. Okay, no fire on that one. All right, had this other 12 volt coil. It's got the juice in it, I can hear it. And it's actually got a positive and a negative on it. The only difference is it does have an external resistor on it, like a condenser, as you can see. So I got thinking about this one, and I'm just not real confident on the wiring. So instead of just trying to go back and forth, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap this one on there. Hopefully this one's good. If this one's not good, then we may have to just go buy another one. I was trying to get this done today, so we'll see what we can do here. I really want to get it fired up. Oh, that's better. Okay, let's pull that nut off there and hook those wires up. So the way that's wired in there is I have the column drop has the on-off switch. That actually turns on the fuse panel. When it turns on the fuse panel, that gives this coil right here hot juice, or 12 volts. Normally on the early Ford stuff, the column drop switch is for the coil, period. That's what turns your vehicle off and on. So from the factory, this one would have had just a coil wire going through that column drop up there. So when you turn that switch on, it just it just turns on the coil. And then you can push the starter button all day long. So even with the key off on the factory setup, you can hit the starter button and crank the motor over. It just won't ever fire until you turn that switch on and give the coil the juice. Let's try it again. Hopefully this is a good one. If it's not, I'm going to go buy a brand new coil and put on here. So y'all keep an eye on that. Switch is live. I'm going to crank it. Nope. Okay. Don't understand that. Unless I just got a bunch of bad coils. Which, let me tell you, if you buy any coils at the daggum swap meet, they could all be bad and you'd never know until you get home. I'm tired of fooling with it. Went down and got me a brand new coil. FD471. That'd be 12 volt. I think we looked up like a early 70s Ford pickup. So let's get this one put on there. So if you don't know how the distributor works, what you are inevitably doing, so what you're doing is you're giving 12 volt hot to your coil, and then the ground is actually when your points close up. So as the distributor comes around on the cam and allows the points to close, then it's causing a ground inside there, and then that's what shoots the juice from your coil into your cap and goes to the respective plug wire or plug. Oh, should be good to go now. Let's fire it up and see if we got spark again, which we should. Now, hopefully, fingers crossed. All right, key switch on. Start it up. Okay, so we still don't have fire. So that's probably a wasted trip, but that's okay. We've got a new coil on it. We know that's good. So I'm going to put a new rotor on it. See if we can get that on there. There's only just a few things that can be bad on these, and we're going to figure them all out. Here we go. All right, let's try it again. Fire on. Nope, you can hear it's not even trying, so. Let's see here. Get that cap off there. Let's check that cap again in there. The cap really doesn't look bad, but I think we're just going to have to swap out those points and the condenser and everything. Just go ahead and do it. Alrighty, got the new points out and they're the wrong ones. So I think what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead, I've got my feeler gauge here. I'm going to go ahead and open these up and sand them a little bit, and then reset them to 15 thousandths, which is where they should be. And then we'll try her again, I guess, since I'm not going to run back up to O'Reilly's tonight and swap those out. And I'm 1000% sure they don't have them in stock, so. Just going to try to sand that in between those 2 points since it's closed right now. Bump that starter and see if we can get it to where those points are open, and we'll check that. See where we're at on that. Oh, that's right on the money. Perfect. And that's about 30 thousandths, so I'll reset that. Those are sanded, they're set. I've got the spark plug fire checker tool over here. So let's move it back over here so you guys can see it. On this one this time, just for fun. And we'll see if we can See if we got any fire in there. Hopefully I can see that. I don't know if I can even see that from here. Okay. Fire. Turn on the switch there. Okay. Still no fire. All right. Well, I guess I'll get new points on it. I'll get new points from O'Reilly's. Swap those ones out, and we'll just have to go through all that stuff. May end up having to get another coil too. I don't know. Not getting any fire. I should be getting fire to it with a new coil. Should be getting fire to the spark plugs anyway. The only other thing I can do is swap out the cap and try the condenser tonight. But I really wouldn't mind doing that. I'd like to get it running without that stuff, but it's probably going to need it anyway. And I've got the stuff, so I might as well just put it on there. So, but I'll get new points for it tomorrow, and I think I'll just go ahead and swap all that stuff out and just start fresh. That way I know it's all good stuff. So, we'll check back tomorrow. We'll see what we can get going. Hopefully we can get it fired up. All right, see you guys tomorrow. All right, guys, I have a sneaking suspicion that, well, I was laying in bed last night. You know, it's like all your good ideas and things come to your mind that you've been thinking about quite a bit when you're either on the toilet or right before you're about to go to sleep. And I remembered that I didn't swap out the condenser in this, so that was still a 6-volt condenser. Because, you know, when I pulled that 6-volt coil off there, it didn't even occur to me that that's a 6-volt condenser in there. Points don't really matter. They don't care if it's 6-volt or 12. But the condenser, they do make a 6-volt and a 12-volt condenser. So I picked up a new condenser that's 12-volt, and I'm gonna put it in here and see if I can get it. See if we can get it fired up. Okay, that's in there. Let's try it now. We'll try it now. We've got new coil, we've got new rotor, and we've got new condenser. I might as well just go ahead and swap the points out. I'm right here. So we get these new points in here. We'll have to set the gap on them at 15 thousandths again, like we did previously on these old points. And yeah, they need to be replaced. So, all right, let's try her again. Still not getting nothing. I got the points adjusted. I actually ended up going back and swapping out the coil at O'Reilly's. So the condenser I got was for a mid-60s Chevrolet pickup, and it screwed right in there. So I thought, well, I need to have the right coil that goes with that condenser. So I went back and swapped out that Ford coil, which I know it's just a generic part, but I thought I want to make sure I get a Chevrolet coil that goes with that condenser just in case. So let's see what we got. Oh, shit. Got some magic smoke from somewhere. Okay, I got some magic smoke from somewhere, so I gotta figure out where that's coming from. So on that last crank over, I saw that it was getting spark, which is good. But then when I was talking, I noticed there was some smoke coming out, and I was like, oh crap, we got some magic smoke. I went through all my wiring real quick off camera, and none of the wiring was singed anywhere that I could find. But I noticed that the, I'll show you. This ballast resistor I dropped on there because the one I have up in there is it's a double. And so I thought, well, let's just check that to see if that's part of the problem. So I dropped this one on as a used one that was in my electrical toolbox. And that's where the smoke came from, and it was super hot. So I unhooked it. It does say made in Mexico on it, so that may have been a bad one that I had in my toolbox. The smoke was out here because it had come up through the vent, and it was right in here when I saw it. And I thought maybe the regulator there had gotten smoked, but it was apparently that. So we got fire now, and let's put a little gas in it. Let's see if it fires up. Let's see what it does. You probably noticed also when it kicked over that when the starter released, I heard it go bang. That button in there, my starter button on the dash, was no good. It was actually holding it going after being released. So I went ahead and swapped that out too. See if we can get her to fire up now. I should try to fire up. All right, I'm trying to put that in there while I'm trying to start it at the same time. I think my last thing to do is going to be run a fuel line all the way from the fuel pump to the gas tank and see what it does. I think. It's trying now. I think my starter's want to put the battery on. Okay. We know it'll run. Finally. Let's get we'll go ahead and unhook this. We'll go ahead and unhook this hose right here since we're waiting on the new tank to come in. And we'll hook up a hose to that and see if we can get it to prime that pump, get some fuel in there. All right, made this up a little extended line here. I'll take this one off the hard line, and then we'll put the tank right down here on the fender. Get this little T on here. Tighten her up. Looks like we'll have enough room. We'll put it right down here on the floor, just right next to the fender. Hopefully this will work. I got a vacuum line T with a block off plug on it. And another section of fuel line, so we'll just drop it right into the bucket. Get that down in there. Oh yeah, that's plenty long enough. Now we need to make sure we got our fire extinguisher out and ready just in case. This thing should fire up. Put a little bit of gas in there. All right, let's start it up and see what we got. See if this pump works. It's trying. I don't see any fuel going into the fuel pump, so that's probably going to mean we're going to need to swap that out. And there went our battery. Okay, so we're definitely going to have to replace that fuel pump because there ain't a lick of nothing in there. So let's get that swapped out. I've got a new one over there on the bench. There we go. Now we can take that one off and we'll get another one put on there, the new one. We're going to have to save some of them fittings too because we'll need those. Dang it. I forgot. So the earlier fuel pumps have a longer mount where that one doesn't. This fits a 59A fuel pump that's got the oil filler tube on top. This one's longer. It's the 8BA style. Filler tubes in the front of the intake. So that's not going to do me any good. I've got to get that one. Take everything back off of it, put it back in the box, and get another one. See if I have another one that'll work. Alright, well I don't have another fuel pump with a long base on it like this one. So, I'm going to cheat it a little bit. I think I want to take the top of this one and put it on this one and use this base. See if that'll get me through. I think it will. So we'll take this all apart. These are pretty easy to pull apart. There's not really anything to them. There's just a little diaphragm in there and a spring and a hook that you have to get hooked on there, right? Okay. There's that part. Now this just goes down in there and hooks on, I believe. Let's see if I can remember how to do it. I haven't done one in a while. There we go. Got it. So I'll show you guys. This is the part that wears out, is that little rubber deal. So inside, there's your rubber gasket. Inside that is that little hook right there. Actually, it's not a hook, it's an eyelet on that. And it goes on that little hook inside there, if you can see it. So I just had to get it up off of there. Let's keep that from getting dirty. We'll set it right there. And we'll pull this one apart, see if we can swap those out. These you can always use if you're running a 59A flathead with the shorter base on it, on the fuel pump stand. You can take one of these. There's plenty of room in there to take that and grind that down right there. You can take and grind that whole back side of that down to where it'll fit just like that, because there's nothing in there. It's just got that boss right there, and you can just grind that smooth off to fit a 59A. Matter of fact, that's what I did on the Tom Sellers's coupe. At the time, I couldn't find the correct fuel pump, and I was like, let's cut that thing off. So I did, and it worked fine. And it gave me the sediment bowl there on the. Some of the earlier 59A fuel pumps don't have a sediment bowl right there, so I utilized the 8BA one on there, and it worked perfect. Pull that off. Yep. And it was a little crusty. Okay. I think we're gonna hook it. Yeah. So we're gonna point that where the arm, where the fuel pump rod goes, point it towards us, and we're gonna take that and push it up and bring it out like that. So it's actually the hook is actually facing away from where the rod goes. So there we go. Got it. It's pretty janky in there. There's a little few chunks in there. I got them out. Drop a little grease in there on that. Put a little bit inside there for that rod, and then I'm going to take that spring out there and put some of this up there right on that hinge. Got it. Perfect. Okay. Let's get that new top put on there. And we needed it right like that, I believe. Looking good. Only deal is we got an old base and a new top. But I won't cry about that if it works. Hopefully that'll work. We'll see why it wouldn't. Okay, I had my buddy Travis come over to try to help me figure out what was going on. I swapped out everything in the distributor and still couldn't get it to take off. So I had him come over to try to help me out, and the first thing he did was start checking the plug wires. And we found that one of the plug wires, the one to the coil, was, what was it?
The cap is a lot deeper, and the plug wasn't reaching down into the contact.
So you think it May have been hung out there
I
not
hope
too
so.
far.
I hope so.
Jumping the gap.
And yeah.
So we made up a new one, and we made up a little makeshift fuel pump to hopefully get that going down there. So we're going to try to kick it off here in just a second.
Put a little choke in here.
Little choke. Let's see what that does. All right. Oh, it's on right now. It was already on. All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that'll start sucking it down into that fuel pump. Ready?
Yep. Promising.
Yeah, I don't see none down there yet though.
Crank it. Keep cranking.
There's a little flame in there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, don't pour no more gas on it while it's flaming. You want to do that?
Okay.
Good deal. It's pumping it in there, so that's good.
Now I just need to fill that bowl and
Yeah.
okay, go for it. Okay.
Now that carburetor hadn't been rebuilt either, so.
Oh.
You're like, really? Sounds like something I'd do.
Yeah.
Wanna try it again?
Yeah, let's try it. Rebuild it.
You don't think I need to rebuild it? Right on. We're ready to cruise. You're like 50 pounds oil pressure.
No choke.
No choke. Good. It might be out of gas.
Yeah.
Because we didn't put a whole lot in there. Dang, that's awesome.
I think it was trying to. He was touching just enough, maybe.
What?
That wire.
Oh.
And that not ohming good.
Yeah. No, I didn't figure it would be. I just gambled on it. I figured, you know what? Let's just try it and see. You never know.
Okay.
You ready? All right, so we need to order some new plug wires.
New plug wires, an accelerator pump gasket.
Yes, rebuild kit for the carburetor. Like I said, I just gambled on that one because I wasn't sure if it was going to be. I mean, it's been sitting for, I've had it for probably at least 3 years. So I just figured, you know what, we'll try it and see what it does. So we'll get some new plug wires on it and rebuild that carburetor for now because I've got that 3 deuce and the heads coming from California. And then I'll get the kingpins done and we'll bleed the brakes and this thing will be ready to go.
Throw them 2 ballast resistors away.
Yeah. I don't know what the deal was on that. So the smoke you guys saw earlier came from one of these ballast resistors. And I had a double inside there on the firewall because I had one side I was going to use for the coil and the other 2 tangs I was going to use for the heater. Then I converted the heater to 12 volts, so I only need one side. And just trying to figure out what was not working, I ended up swapping in this one. And that's what smoked. The back of that thing smoked, and it kind of freaked me out.
I see.
And then we put that one in there just in case, and it smoked too. And the one that's in there is good. So, all right, you guys heard it. Thing runs. Thanks to Travis.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, you saved me today, brother. I was wearing thin, man. I was like, what could it be? And I didn't even think about the plug wires, so.
I lost a whole hour of sleep on it this weekend.
You did? You was thinking about it?
Oh, daylight savings time.
Oh, that one. Awesome. Well, like, share, and subscribe. See you guys later. Thanks to Travis.